First of all, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. So here we have the world in this period. North America, South America, Europe, there's the UK, Africa, Australia, Oceania. We have the Indian Ocean, India, China, Asia, Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, and it says European Christians and Muslims in Western Asia are at war for much of this period. These wars are called the Crusades, although religion is the chief motivating force. The main aim of those involved is to obtain more territory. In Europe, the feudal system based on land ownership and military service governs every aspect of daily life. The Western Empire declines. In North Africa, there are upheavals in the Muslim world. Ghana loses its dominance in West Africa to Almoravids from the north. The Zarqui dynasty displaces the Aksumite dynasty in Ethiopia and encourages the growth of Christianity. In Central and Southern Africa, Bantu farming peoples found new kingdoms. Building and expansion across the Atlantic, cultures and civilizations rise and fall. Pueblo people in North America built remarkable villages in the shelter of the cliffs of the southwest. The powerful Chimu people expand from their capital at Chan Chan and dominate much of South America. In the Pacific, Polynesians make long voyages in open boats to found new settlements, particularly in New Zealand. And here we have a timeline, 1000, 1050, 1100, 1150. Okay. So in Africa, this period was one of rising and falling empires. In the mid-11th century, Muslim Berbers called the Almoravids grew powerful in the northwest and began a holy war. They invaded the Ghana Empire, which had dominated West Africa for centuries. The Almoravids were conquered in the 1140s by another Berber religious movement, the Almohads. In East Africa, the Fatimid dynasty in Egypt was overthrown by a great warrior, Saladin. He went on to unite parts of the African and Asian Muslim world. Circa 1062, Marrakesh is founded. Here is an image of Marrakesh. In the Western Sahara, a group of strictly religious Muslim Berbers began a holy war to reform their neighbours. They founded a capital at Marrakesh in about 1062, which became one of the greatest cities in North Africa. The Berbers' general, Abu Bakr, took an army of followers called Almoravids south to invade the Ghana Empire. They seized the capital, Gumbi, in 1076. Abu Bakr's cousin, Yusuf ibn Tashfin, expanded Muslims. By 1100, all Muslim Spain was part of the Almoravid Empire. 1147, Almohads seize Marrakesh. The Almoravid Empire in North Africa and Spain did not last long. In the 1120s, another religious movement of Berbers, the Almohads, formed in Morocco. They accused the Almoravids of living too well in Spain. Their leader, Ibn Jumart, organised them into a strong army. Under Caliph Abd al-Mumin, they took Marrakesh from the Almoravids in 1147 and went on to conquer all Morocco and Muslim Spain. By 1163, Abd al-Mumin had become a ruler of northeast Africa as far as Tripoli in Libya. The Almohads dominated Spain for about 60 years, but were defeated in 1212 by Alfonso VIII at the Battle of Las Navas de Tolosa. 1000 to 1200, Asia. Just gonna have a bit of coffee. This was the age of conquest by Seljuk Turks in Western Asia, threatening the Byzantine Empire. They seized the holy places in Palestine, where European Christians went on pilgrimage. Byzantium and Europe responded with several crusades, military expeditions to drive out the Turks. In southern India, the Chola kingdom grew strong and extended its naval power over the seas of Southeast Asia. In Japan, the Fujiwara family's dominance was ended by the rising Minamoto family. 1014, Rajendra I becomes Chola ruler. The Cholas were a Hindu people of Southeast India. After 880, they conquered much of southern India, the island of Sri Lanka, and lands to the north as far as the Ganges River. Rajendra I became Chola king in 1014. He sent great merchant fleets on trading expeditions to new waters. The Chola navy took control of the eastern sea trade route between the Arabs and China. Chola merchants grew rich. They began to use coins instead of barter or exchange. They set up guilds whose members made rules to govern business practice. Chola rule was particularly popular among peasants. Village assemblies were left free to manage their own affairs. So here we see Chola art, which were commissioned by rich merchants. Their artists made famous bronzes of gods and goddesses. Here is a temple city built by Rajendra I. 1071, Seljuks attack Byzantine Empire. In the mid-11th century, a group of wandering Muslim Turks, the Seljuks, moved down from Central Asia, defeated the Afghan Ghaznavids, pressed on through Persia, and finally reached Baghdad. They were welcomed by the Abbasid Caliph, who made their leader, Tughril Beg, into his regent with the title of Sultan. Tughril was succeeded by his nephew, Alp Arslan. Alp invaded Asia Minor and Armenia. In 1071 he won a crushing victory over the Byzantine army at the Battle of Manzikert and captured the Byzantine emperor, who was later released. Seljuks began to settle in large numbers throughout Asia Minor. Constantinople. Some of the leaders were inspired by religious faith, but others wanted to increase their territory and wealth. They conquered Seljuk lands in Asia Minor and Syria. In 1099, they took Jerusalem. 1187, the Battle of Hattin. Surrounded by Muslims in a harsh land, the Europeans did not keep their Asian conquests for long. Fully armoured Christian knights, struggling in the heat, made easy targets for swift Muslim mounted archers. In 1144, the Muslims retook Edessa in Asia Minor. A second crusade from Europe to win back Edessa foundered on the long journey eastwards. Soldiers starved or were ambushed by bandits. Those who reached Asia Minor were destroyed by Turks. In Palestine, Christian rulers competed for power, organising their resources with the defence of their own territory in mind. In the 1170s, Syrian and Egyptian Muslims united under a great warrior, Saladin. In 1187, at the Battle of Hattin, he routed the Christians and took Acre and Jerusalem. In 1189, Richard I of England, German Emperor Frederick I, Barbarossa, and King Philip II of France led a third crusade to the east. In 1191, Richard recaptured Acre. 1192. Christian and Muslim truce. In 1192, Richard I of England came within a few hours' march of taking Jerusalem. At that moment his troops refused to go any further. They were desperately short of food and water and were worn out. Richard had to retreat. He refused even to look towards Jerusalem, saying, "My eyes shall not see it, if my arm may not conquer it." In despair, Richard sought a truce with Saladin. He took the extraordinary step of offering his Christian sister in marriage to the great Sultan's Muslim brother. Richard and Saladin made a treaty in November 1192, by which the Christians kept control of their coastal towns, and Christian pilgrims were guaranteed safe journeys to holy places. Despite all the efforts of crusaders and the decades of terrible conflict, most of Palestine remained in Muslim hands. So this is Saladin, 1138 to 93. Saladin was an ideal warrior, reputed to be brave, honourable and just. Born in Iraq of Kurdish ancestry, he became a commander, then chief minister, in Fatimid, Egypt. He overthrew the Fatimids in 1171 and conquered Syria and part of North Africa. His combined forces almost completely expelled the Crusaders from Outrammer. A cultured and generous man, Saladin patronised scholars, founded schools and funded public services such as hospitals. 1192. Yoritomo becomes shogun. By the mid-12th century, Japanese emperors in Kyoto had lost power to the Fujiwara family. Civil war broke out involving the Fujiwara and two leading families from the warrior class or samurai, the Tara and the Minamoto. In 1160, Kiyomori, leader of the Tara clan, seized power from the Fujiwara, but in 1185 the Tara were defeated by the Minamoto clan at the Battle of Dan no Ura. Yoritomo The samurai. The warrior class, or samurai, probably first emerged in Japan in the 9th century. Local officials in the north and east, far away from the imperial court, began to employ small bands of mounted archers and swordsmen to maintain order. By the 11th century, these warrior lords, their families and retainers had begun to control whole provinces. The Minamoto and the Tara became the most powerful samurai families in Japan. After Minamoto, Yoritomo became shogun in 1192. He used his samurai retainers to enforce law and order. Top loyal warriors were made constables in each province, and samurai stewards were sent to manage large areas of land. This remained the basic pattern of Japanese government for many centuries afterwards. Okay, a little bit of coffee. So now let's take a look at Europe in the same period. Trade increased in Europe during this period due in part to the Crusades, which involved all levels of society in Christian Europe against a common foe, Islam. New roads which crossed borders and advances in shipbuilding also encouraged commercial enterprise. Nations became more stable under strong royal rulers, reinforced by feudalism. Many new monastic orders started up, which encouraged church reform. There were great advances in learning, and Europe's first universities, Bologna and Paris, were founded. 1014, the Battle of Clontarf. Up to about 1000, Ireland was divided into several warring kingdoms. This had made it easy for the Vikings to establish themselves in many areas. In 1002, Brian Boru, King of Munster, made himself High King over all Ireland. Brian spent much of his reign consolidating this position. In 1013, Vikings, who had settled in the Dublin area, joined with discontented lords to challenge his authority. The two sides met in 1014 at Clontarf, near Dublin. The Irish triumphed, although Brian was killed. The threat of Viking dominance over Ireland was at an end. 1037, Spanish kingdoms unite. At the beginning of the 11th century, the Spanish peninsula was divided between the Muslim states in the centre and south, and several Christian kingdoms in the north. In 1037, Fernando of Castile completed the conquest of the neighbouring kingdom of Leon, begun by his father. It was only in 1072 that Fernando's son, Alfonso VI, felt sufficiently secure in his inheritance to challenge the Muslim supremacy of the south. This conflict continued for another 400 years until the last Muslim kingdom, Granada, was conquered in 1492. The kingdoms of Spain. By 1150, most of north and central Spain was Christian. However, many Muslims remained in Aragon, and there were some Christians living in the south. By the 1300s, only the very far south, centred around Granada, remained under Muslim control. El Cid, 1043 to 99. During his attempts to conquer Muslim Spain, untrustworthy, and in 1081 fell out with Alfonso and offered his services to a Muslim leader. Diaz performed great deeds and earned himself the name El Cid, Campeador, champion. Later reconciled to Alfonso, he captured Muslim Valencia and held it for 5 years until his death. Despite his inconsistency today, El Cid is one of Spain's national heroes. Now this picture shows Charlton Heston in the 1961 Hollywood movie El Cid. So here we have a page on church life. Christian religious belief and practice dominated everyday life at this time, and thousands of men and women devoted their whole lives to the church, working, studying and praying in monasteries and nunneries. These monks and nuns also helped people outside their communities, nursing the sick and providing help for the poor. Many churches were built for people to worship in. The largest were called cathedrals, containing the official throne of the bishop of the area. And a bit more coffee. And here we can see a bird's eye view diagram of the different areas of the church. So we have the cloisters. Here is the orchard, infirmary, herb garden, dormitory, where everybody slept, and the abbey church. Monastic orders. Men and women who chose to devote their lives to Christianity often became monks or nuns and entered monasteries or religious houses for women or nunneries. The first monastic order, the Benedictine, was founded by Saint Benedict in Italy in 529. The monks' way of life was regulated by a strict set of rules. As conditions in Europe changed, new orders were created following basically the same rules. These included the Cluniac in 910, the Carthusians 1084, the Cistercians 1098, and the Gilbertines 1131. Newer orders were founded in the 13th century, such as the Franciscans and Dominicans. These were not closed orders. Monasteries. A monastery was a group of buildings arranged around a cloister. It housed religious communities of monks, and in some cases nuns, who were guided by a set of rules originally laid down by Saint Benedict in the 6th century. Pilgrimages. Many Christians used to make long journeys by land and sea to sacred places which held relics of Jesus Christ or early saints. They hoped to receive forgiveness for sins or cures for illnesses. Some places like Rome, where both St. Peter and St. Paul were believed to be buried, were especially popular. as king, so offered the throne to Harold, Earl of Wessex. William was furious, and after some months spent assembling a large army, set sail from Normandy, reaching Hastings the next day. Harold and his army were in the north of England and marched over 400 kilometres or 250 miles south in a few days, arriving hungry and exhausted. They put up a brave fight, but the Normans triumphed and Harold was slain. William was crowned king. The Normans poured in and took control of the country, changing the course of English history. England was never conquered by foreign forces again. The Bayeux Tapestry. I've actually done a video about the Bayeux Tapestry. I'll put the link in the description. This amazing record of events leading to the Battle of Hastings is embroidered needlework made up of 72 story panels. It was created on the orders of Odo, Bishop of Bayeux, half-brother to William. This panel shows a soldier with an arrow in his eye, once thought to be Harold. The tapestry is now in Bayeux, and northwest France. William the Conqueror. William was the illegitimate son of Robert, Duke of Normandy. After his conquest, he divided England among his Norman lords and spent much of the rest of his reign putting down scattered English resistance. This portrait is from the 13th century Great Chronicle of Matthew Paris. The church William holds in his hand represents his control of the church. 1086. English land survey takes place. In 1085, to find out how much income he could raise from his kingdom by taxation, William I, the Conqueror, ordered a nationwide survey of England, excepting the counties in the far north, to record the value, population, extent, state of cultivation, ownership and tenancy of the land. The regions were divided up and commissioners appointed for each area. Citizens had to answer under oath questions about the state of their lands both at the time of the survey and in 1066. The results of the survey, completed in 1086, were written in the Domesday Book. And here it is. The book was divided into 2 volumes, one covering the richest counties of Essex, Suffolk and Norfolk, and the other covering the remaining counties. The book is shown on a replica of the chest in which it was kept. The feudal system. Feudalism emerged in 8th century Europe as a stabilising force in the period of disorder that followed the collapse of the Roman Empire. In order to control their realms efficiently, kings leased lands, known as fiefs, to vassals, powerful lords, in return for an oath of loyalty and an agreement to carry out military service on request. The lords divided their land into manors, estates, which they in turn leased to their vassals, who were lesser nobles or knights. These lesser vassals swore their oaths of loyalty and military obedience to their lord, but were also bound to the king, who was overlord of everyone. All land was ultimately held from the king. The lowest level of all society were the serfs or slaves who worked on the land. William the Conqueror introduced a particularly efficient form of feudalism to England. Types of feudalism were also practiced in some Asian countries. And then we'll look at castles. castles were fortified residences for kings and lords, because nobles were often warring with each other and with the king, and there was no general force of law and order. It was necessary for lords to be able to defend their domains. Castles were made of timber or stone. Many timber castles consisted of a large mound of earth with a wooden tower on the summit where the lord and his family lived. The tower stood inside or just outside a timber-walled enclosure. These were called motte and bailey castles. Here is a diagram. Stone castles. Castles built of stone usually consisted of a stone-walled enclosure with defensive towers along the wall length. And here are the defensive towers. This is the gatehouse and a drawbridge. The buildings inside the walls included a residential great tower here, often several stories high. Some smaller buildings were built against the encircling walls. It's the church. And now we go to the Americas. North America was visited by Viking adventurers from Greenland who sailed to Newfoundland and may have explored the coast as far as Chesapeake Bay. In the southwest, Anasazi people built houses in the cliffs, and further east, Mississippi people erected huge, rectangular, flat-topped mounds for temples. The Chimú came to power in South America, dominating the whole northern Andes region. Circa 1000, Leif Erikson reaches North America. Leif Erikson was the son of Eric the Red, who reached Greenland. Around 1000, Leif set sail from his Viking settlement in Godhavnsfjord. He was looking for a strange land seen by another Viking mariner on a previous voyage. He finally landed in North America. After exploring, Leif returned to Greenland. In the 1960s, remains of a Viking settlement were found in northern Newfoundland. They dated back to about 1000, showing that Vikings visited the Americas 5 centuries before Columbus. Let me have a bit more coffee. Circa 1100, Chimú, capital at Chan. The Chimú occupied land along the Peruvian coast beside the northern Andes mountains. They may have descended from the earlier Mocha people in the same area. By the 11th century, the Chimú had created a powerful state called Chimor, based on a capital, Chan, and ruled over by lords and priests. Chan was well supplied with food from irrigated farmland nearby. In the early 1100s, huge rainstorms ruined these fields and new land had to be found, so the Chimú conquered neighbouring territories and a system of roads was built to link each new farm to the city. Circa 1100, the Anasazi cliff dwellers. The Anasazi people, whose name means the ancient ones, were Native American settlers based in the southwest of North America from about 700. Over the years, they developed a type of dwelling made up of interconnecting mud brick rooms stacked in layers on top of each other. These dwellings grew to become small villages or towns called pueblos. Around 1100, the Anasazi moved into the hills, possibly for protection from enemies and also from the harsh climate conditions, and began to build pueblos of stone in the shelter of overhanging cliffs. On the cliff tops they grew maize in irrigated fields. Craft workers made pottery and other beautiful objects from precious stones including turquoise. So here are the homes that they built into the cliff face. The territory of the Ancient Ones, the Anasazi, were based in the Four Corners area, where 4 states, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico and Utah, join. Major sites included Mesa Verde, Chaco Canyon and Canyon to Chile. And finally, Oceania. Polynesians continued to settle Pacific Islands. Among the most important were people from the Cook Islands and Austral Islands, who sailed to the North and South Islands of New Zealand, the largest uninhabited islands in the Pacific Ocean. In Australia, Aboriginals continued to live as hunter-gatherers, undisturbed by outside influences. Circa 1000, Maoris settle in New Zealand. Around 1000, a group of Polynesians sailed many hundreds of kilometres in open boats to settle the 2 large islands of New Zealand, the North and South Islands. They brought with them crops they had grown on their previous island settlements, such as sweet potatoes, yams, taros, and gourds. Only the sweet potato grew well. In New Zealand they found other sources of food, including the moa bird, shellfish and an edible fern. It is thought that the South Island people lived as fishing and gathering people until British explorer Captain James Cook visited the island in 1769. In the North Island, the sweet potato was very successfully grown, but every season the harvested crop started to decay after a while, so the Maoris dug large underground pits to store the potatoes at a constant temperature in order to keep them fresh. In this way they learned how to become self-sufficient farmers. That is the moa bird. The moa was a large bird growing up to 3 metres or 10 feet tall. It could not fly but ran very fast on 2 strong legs, often pursued by Maoris who killed it for its meat. Finally they hunted it into extinction. And this is a lucky charm. This Haitiki or neck pendant was worn to bring good luck or to keep evil spirits away. It's carved from green stone, a hard kind of jade found in the South Island. I used to have one of these. And this is a war canoe. Maori canoes were among the largest watercraft in the world until the 18th century. Made from single logs up to 30 metres or 100 feet in length, each canoe took up to 100 warriors to paddle its huge bulk through the water. So, shall see